Welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know me, I'm Deb from Project Life, Deb's Way. And I've got a fantastic scrapbooking layout for you this time. My beautiful son and daughter-in-law treated me to a photo shoot, which is a scrapbooker's dream. And I had all the family together except for my daughter's husband, which is, when your kids get older, it's so hard to get all your family together. So we had this wonderful photo shoot with all of my grandchildren and everything else. So when I saw this paper line, it was perfect for these photographs. And I have used Paper Rose's Millies Garden. And it went so well with the photographs. So I'll give you a quick look at the layout. So here is my normal type of page that I did, and then I actually on the other side did a fold page. So I'll open this up for you. So here is the inside of the fold page, and then as you can tell, there is my other page which goes next to this page. So through the video I will do the cards from start to finish. I will show you what papers I've got and everything else that you need. I just used a little tiny die cut here to give me some extra texture, but everything else came from the pack. And then at the end of the video I'll show you how to make that flap pocket. So let's get on with the fun of making this layout. So here's a sneak peek of the layout that we'll be doing in this tutorial, and this one is quite a big one because I had that many photographs. I have actually included in the tutorial how to make one of these fabulous pockets. And at the end of the video, I actually do how to do the folding mechanism with this. So we'll get on with having a look at the papers and things, and then we'll start making our cards. Hi, we'll just do a quick rundown of the papers I've used. I've used the paper 12 by 12 pack from Paper Rose, and you do get 2 each of the designs, so you will have plenty of paper to fiddle with or make cards afterwards, because I only virtually used half a pad. Now it has lots of writing on the front, and I didn't use any of those. I did use virtually this whole page. I used a lot of these. I used 4 tags plus 2 tags, but any paper that was left I actually cut the rest of the florals that I've used. Now with this one I used all the florals for cutting, but I did use all of this paper here. For this one I cut all of these out and fussy cut all inside to use for my big flap. I used the strip and a strip and a strip here as well for that one. This one I cut all the florals, all the major distinct florals I fussy cut out of that one. This is what I used for my full 12 by 12, and it's got a wonderful, which is where I used this cutout, and then I put my photographs in on the back here. This one here I used all of the plain papers here and some of the little bits down the side, but basically I used all the florals for my cutting. I used 3 sheets of white cardstock because I did some backing, and also the backing of all my photo mats. I found a piece of the damask papers, but if you wanted to use the second sheet in the pad, there is a lovely green that you could actually use instead of the damask, so you wouldn't need any extra papers. So just use this one instead of the damask. I used 2 sheets of craft as well. Now I did add my favourite book paper that I've used, and I also have made 3 of these which I just inked in brown. And because I needed some extra paper, I found this particular cardstock which I had in my stash, but I'm sure if you couldn't use that, because you can use the full pad, you could actually use instead, there is a lovely backing sheet here, this one here, and just cut your sheet here and use the 2 sheet there if you have got the full pad to use. But as I said, I wanted to use mine for card making, so I just went into my stash and found something very, very similar. So there's all what I've used. I haven't added any other ephemera with this besides the cutout and the paper. So let's get on with making our cards. Now we're on to card number 1. Now we're going to use some white cardstock, which I've just put my book page paper on. So the book page paper is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then remember I said we used this tiny strip that was left over here. So because I wanted a bit of zigzag going upwards, I had to find some, so that was absolutely fantastic. So that is 5 1/2 by 2, and I've inked around the edges, and that is just going to go on my card with that little border all the way around. And as you can see, it gives you a good texture to work with. Now this particular floral is one of the most important, and that comes from here, from this sheet here, and I've just cut it out. Now I've put some dimensional tape on 3 points with this. But before I really firmly stick it down, I've got a couple of other things to go on there. So I'm just going to place that very lightly on to my card. I've got one of the tags, I've just cut one of the tags out, cut a hole in it, and that tag is going to fit just underneath like that. I think we might lift that up and bring that tag slightly down. Get it all fitting in nice. Then underneath all of this, I want some of that grid. That's better. So once you're happy with your placement, yep, that works, you can actually stick your tag on. Put some glue on your grid work. Then you can attach your flower. I'm just going to put some glue on mine because it's too hard to. Okay. So now I'm going to put my lovely word, which I'm going to put that on some mounted tape. And there's our eye candy card, card number 1 complete. So now we're on to card number 2. Now all I've got is my 6x4 from the orangey coloured paper. I have cut myself a 2 3/4 by 4.5 book page. And I'm going to pop that down into the bottom corner with roughly 1/4 inch border all around, and then my 3x4 craft photo with the 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 white cardstock border, and all of my photo mats have that 1/4 inch white card border. And I'm going to pop that with a little bit of the book page showing. Now my ephemera is really quite simple. I've just cut myself one of the tags and just chopped it off. Going to just poke that underneath like so, and then the floral is going to do exactly the same, and that came from that big sheet where I cut a lot of the flowers from. And just pop your flower on like that, and there you have a very easy card finished. Now we're on to card number 3. Once again, I've got my 3x4. Now card 4. Card 4 is really easy as well. So I've just got my 6x4 in my white, and I added some damask green paper from a different kit that was left over, and this is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I've inked around the edges so that just gets attached in the center of the base card. Then I cut another card at 3.5 by 5.5 from the green dot paper, which is this card here, and I've used this, so this is the bit where I've cut this card from, is from here. So that goes onto the base card in the center. Now I've got my 3x4 photo mat with my white backing, and that goes on next. And that goes to the top, and our flower is going to go here. Now I'm going to raise this one and have this one flat. So I will get a couple of pieces of this foam tape and the rest I'll glue. Attach that. Now I think I need a leaf, so I'm just going to find from my sheet another leaf somewhere else, and if I can't find, this looks nice, so I'll just quickly cut round this little filigree one. Just to finish that spray off. Okay, we'll just wait for that glue to quickly set. And there we have card number 4 complete. Okay, these are small 3x4 cards, and I've got a true 3x4 white card, and then I took off 3 7/8 by 2 7/8, and just pop them on so they've got that, once again, that little white border. So there's our 2 photo cards done. So card 5A, it is our first of our 3x4s, and I've got the zigzag running acrossways, and I've distressed the edges. I cut a piece of that card from this card here, which is a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square, and I've distressed around the edges of that as well. That's ready to go. Now once again I did that 1 inch strip with my ribbon, and that is going to go, we'll pop our little card there, and then in the center of what's left, now as you can see I've got a slight problem, my card's a little bit too long, so I'm going to take that ribbon off, that card, and trim that card down so it actually fits correct, then re-wrap my ribbon onto the back. Now the flower is going to go here, so I'm just going to glue that down a bit of a slant. I'm not sure I rubbed my number off my card. Now this particular one has got a bit of mounting tape on it to give it a 3D look. And there's card number 5A complete. So here's card number 6. Now remember the backing card that I had to bring in, but this is the second one that I had, and I've got my 3x4 photograph. Just double check. Yes, my 3x4 with the white mat, so that is going to go down next. After I put my tag on, which I'm just going to put on the edge of the card, just like that. Then my photo mat gets centered with a border evenly all around. Then I have my little flower, which I'm just going to stick down the bottom here. This is a very nice and easy little one to do, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on there. To make that stand out. To give it a bit of extra. So there's card number 6 complete. So here's card number 6. Now remember the backing card that I had to bring in, but this is the second one that I had, and I've got my 3x4 photograph. Just double check. Yes, my 3x4 with the white mat, so that is going to go down next. After I put my tag on, which I'm just going to put on the edge of the card, just like that. Then my photo mat gets centered with a border evenly all around. Then I have my little flower, which I'm just going to stick down the bottom here. This is a very nice and easy little one to do, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on there. To make that stand out. To give it a bit of extra. So there's card number 6 complete. Now we're on to card number 7, and I've got the green damask card, which is a 6x4. Then I've got my 5.5 by 3.5 card from like the greeny spot card. So that goes right into the center of that card. Now I've got my photo mat here, which is the 3x4, and that is going on the left hand side. Now this little one came from this sheet here. I've just found some that were along the bottom, which was perfect to fit on this card. So I'm just going to glue that down. And then I found a little bud that I can tuck in just to fill up that white space. So there we have card number 7 complete. So here we have card 10B and 10D, which is exactly the same as 5B and 5D. It's just got your 3x4 and the 1/8 of an inch cut off of the photo mat to give you your photo squares. This is our second to last little eye candy cards, 3x4s, and once again I've done that inch strip with a ribbon just to continue on from the other side. So we have one on the right hand side, and that is going onto the card with about 1/2 an inch, and then I will just pop my ephemera onto my card, and when I'm happy with the placement I can stick it all down. So I'll put my grid on first. I'll tuck my underneath floral down first. Actually, I prefer it that side, and then have this going this side. So I'll stick that down, and then I'll stick this one down. And there we have our 10A finished. So here's our last card for our layout. So I've just cut some of the paper from the green spotty fabric, and then I cut another piece out of one of the sides of that floral paper, which is here. And I've just cut one of those tags down to give me that sheet, and then I've mounted that with an 1/8 of an inch all round onto some white cardstock. The reason why I did that was to make this stand out. So then that goes onto the base card. Like so. And then I will just build up my ephemera and get it how I want it. Okay, once I'm happy with that, I can attach everything down. put a couple of dimensionals on that rose. And then I'm not happy with chopping them off. I might also chop that one off as well. And then I'll just put my little word on the card. So there's our card 10C complete. Okay, so this would be card number 12, and I'm doing a flap pocket which has a full size 12 by 12 page. Now I have cut some of my ephemera out with my machine, and the ephemera has come from, I've cut all the florals on this particular sheet, and with this one I have cut this flower here and this flower here with that one, and as you can tell, this is the one that I've cut the full piece from here. There it is there, cut out. Now with this particular one I've just cut a 2-inch strip across here that I've used, this bit down here and this bit here, so I've left all of that free. Now with this one I've used all the side of this card, but I have got some flowers here, which is this one here, and I've used this one here with a few leaves, which is this one here, and as you can tell it's this one here, which I've just chopped that one off to give me my ephemera for my sheet. Now with my sheet I have used larger photo mats. Now I've got not true photo mats, but I know my photographs will fit, and I'll make them fit onto the size that I have got. So you would just do, for whatever photographs you would have, you would actually do your photo mats in 1/4 of an inch bigger in white to the craft. And I have cut a page from one of my books as well. So I'm going to go and distress everything, and then I'll come back and I'll put the page together. So this is a page I've used, but this is the reverse, which I will be using as well for a large photograph. So this is my reverse. Now I've decided with this one I wanted a full book page, which I've distressed. Now the main thing with this is to put your cutout piece, which I've got just a bit to cut out here that my machine didn't cut out, like that. Then you can fit your photographs in. So I'm going to put this here lined up. I'm going to have one of my photographs here and have the longer one here. So once I've got those stuck down, I can actually place the rest of the ephemera where I need it. Now I'm going to put this, there's so many leaves there, I'm going to put this one here raised slightly, and I have got another floral to go there. Then I am going to pop these like that. And there we have our layout ready for our photographs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move this and actually stick this book page down, and then I can construct the rest of the page. As you know, I like my book pages. They always add a little bit of texture to your layouts. Now I'm just going to pop these back on and put them onto my This was such beautiful papers, so I knew exactly what photographs I wanted to use with this. I'm just going to make sure that the two edges are the same, and then pop my ephemera on. Now what I'm going to do with this is a little sneaky thing I sometimes do. I'm going to raise some of these to give them a little bit of extra dimension. So I've got these fantastic little dots, and they are only half the size of your normal double-sided tape, and they are absolutely amazing. Take that. So you stick that one flat and then put your dimensional tape underneath. Now this one I am going to stick straight down, and I'm going to go for my liquid glue. Which doesn't seem to want to do as it's told at the moment. See whether that works. There we go, we've got it working. So I'm just going to put some of my wet glue on. And just get all of that stuck down. Like so. Now this little one, I want that actually raised up, so I'm going to put a strip of the dimensional on that bud. On that leaf. On that one. And then put one of the flowers. So I'm going to take all the bits off of that. Then I'm going to put a bit of my glue on that bottom piece to make that flat. So then I'm going to pop that underneath my piece. And this little leaf here, I will actually attach that down. And as you can see, it does give you a little bit of dimension to the layout. Okay, so now we need to just pop once again with some dimensionals. Where I want to put that flower. Stick the other one underneath where I want that to go. Okay. So now we need to stick our last piece down. So this is going to be completely flat. So I'm just putting the glue on the back. And then attaching it down. So there we have our page number 11, and I will show you later on in the video how I actually do my flat pages that fold in to give me some extra room for photographs, and how to cut your plastic folders to allow you to do that. Now on completion, I decided there was too much white space on this layout, so I've added 2 tags, And if you can actually see, I have actually built up some of the flowers. So I've put an extra flower here, and this one I've raised, and this one. And I've put a little extra flower in here, which of course is raised on foam tape. And I did the same here. I've put an extra flower here, here, and here, and popped a little piece in extra here. You can just see I've popped that in. And once again, as you can tell, I've raised that with these are raised with some tape. So it's flat here and the mounting tape up here, just to give it a little more depth and etc. And as I said, there was just too much what they class as white space here, so the two tags went in. So all of this came from the papers that I had left over. So this is the other side of the sheet that we've just completed. Now I'm going to put my main photograph here. So I am once again putting my book page down to continue that theme all the way through. Now once I have done that, I have got my big photo frame that I'm going to be using, and that is 8.5 by 6.5. So you just make your frame as big as your photograph is, and that is going just there. So I've got a bit of the book page all the way around. So we'll put that nice and flat, but just make sure that you can still get that off if need be. Now we have got our ephemera. Now most of the ephemera I have actually cut from these sheets. So you need to get some really good bunches of flowers, and this particular one was one that was running down the bottom, and I think it was just about here somewhere that it was. And same with this one, I got this off of this particular sheet by sort of just cutting your sprigs like that to get your longer sprigs. Now the rest of these, which is these ones here, that came off of this sheet here. And I've used a die cut which I've torn up and just brown inked. And the words, there is a sheet at the front with tags that has lots of words, and that's where all of my words have come from this time. So I've not added any words at all that weren't with the kit. So now we need to start building our florals. Now I can see already I have made a slight mistake here, so I'm going to have to take this off. I need this to become lower. So when you're attaching this, you need a bit of that circle showing. Okay. There we have it. So I'm just going to attach that back down again. This is why Express It tape, it's, see if I can show you, Express is really good because you can actually remove the tape, but by tomorrow it would have stuck fast and you won't move anything. Now with this one, I'm going to do my little dots again. I'm going to get my three-dimensional bits, and just pop those onto the end pieces. And then I'm going to run my glue everywhere else. So we'll take our backing off of our little dots and strips. Now if you can't get these little half foam dots, what you can do is get 2 pieces of cardstock, glue them together, and that will give you roughly the same height as what they have. So I am going to attach that right butting up to the photograph and just attach my florals down, and that will give you the, it just makes them stand out that little bit. Okay, oh, I forgot to. Okay, now down in the bottom I've got that large sprig, which is going to come down here. And then this one is going to go attach some of that underneath, and then to keep that theme working through with a little bit of this, and I'll attach that there. So once you're happy with your placement, you just need to start to glue everything down. So keep your fingers on those 2 pieces and glue your grid work down first. Now this one, once again, I'm going to have this piece flat, but I would just want some dimensionals on there. Right, a dimensional on that one. Then I will apply my glue to the rest. just there. So I'm going to take the backing off of those mounting circles. And I might even put a little square on that little bud there, just to make that stand out. Just to get a little bit more depth to the piece. So once again, I'm going to stick my grid work down first. Put some dimensional spots on two of those flowers. And then put the glue on the rest. Get that grid work finally stuck. And that dimensional, I'm going to shift further up. Stick the base of the flower down and then put the dimensional on. There we go. Now I don't like that leaf sitting there, so I'm going to chop it off so that that sits a little bit flatter. Now I'm going to do exactly the same here. And cut a little bit. And then once I'm happy with that, I can take the backing off of those dots. Apply my glue. And there we have, and now I need to put my word. Which I'm going to change over to Memories. And there we have our large flat page done. And as that will be going that way, then when you open it up, you'll have this other one, and then you'll have your side-by-side 12-inch normal Project Life layout. So it's just something a little bit different this time. Hi everyone. Now just on to the last part of this video. This is where I have put all of my, I'm sorry about the glare, but there's nothing I can do about that. But this is my two-part layout. Now, as you remember, we made a double sheet here to fit my extra photographs in. Now, I have just used a 12 by 12 Project Life sleeve that has no pockets. It's just the 12 by 12. Now, these make great fold out. So I'm going to get rid of the left hand side of my album, and this would be the page as it would look in the album. And as you can imagine, this is on the clips here. Now, to make this work, we want an extra flat page, which we are going to put here, so that this folds over like that when it's in the album, and there is your layout. So when you open up your album, you have that flap page. It's very, very simple to do. So all I have is an extra backing card, a backing card for here, and a backing card for here. Now these actually get tucked in to the back so that you can take your cards in and out if you need to, without having to destroy all your workings. So what I tend to do is you put these backing cards in to that system, and this card, for some reason, with some of these folders, these cards are really, really tight. So I am going to cut just a tiny bit extra off of this card to make that working work better. Okay, I'm just taking a slither off. Sometimes with these pockets you do get one pocket that is slightly smaller than the other. That's better. Now I'm going to do exactly the same for the backing. Just pop the backing card in and the backing card in. Any card will do for this because you don't actually see this working. Now what I do now is with this, I pop this on and I put some dots where I know the card finishes. Now then I get my scissors and I will make, on the flap, I will cut away to make little triangles. Now before I cut anything away, double check. You know the old adage, measures twice, cut once. Okay, I might just cut this one a little bit more. Now where that V is, you can then snip that off. So you can actually physically see I've got a little V cut here and a little V cut here. I'll see if I can get some white paper so that you can actually see this better. I hope you can see that. So you've got a little V here and a little V there, and I've V'd it at the ends. And this gives you your tabs, which will go into these pockets. Now I am going to cut, I'll take this photograph out, and then I'm going to, with a texter, just draw 2 little dots. Now these are the dots that I need to slice. Now as you can see, I have got my backing card in, which protects the underneath. So push that right up to the edge and get yourself a really good straight ruler. I've got my Tim Holtz. I'll use a metal one for this, I think. So you put your ruler, and I've lost my dot somehow or other. So we put our ruler right up as far as we can to that edge. And then we do a tiny little slit into the plastic sleeve. As you can see here, do not go past the edge there, and then you will see that this now will tuck in like that, and then you can stick it down. So what I will do is put my tape onto this, and I always use my express tape, and I've got a lovely 1 inch wide one. So what I tend to do is I put my inch tape on there, then I will trim all of my tape down. Turn it over and then trim your tape to your tab. So once you've done the one side, is correct. Making sure that you've got the tape on the right side, because you don't want the tape on this side, because it will stick to your folder and you won't get your cards in. It has to be facing downwards. So once we have done that, we will pop this underneath and repeat the process going up the sides. Just double check that you have cut through that folder. There we go. Now with this one, once again, put your little dots . Make sure that that card is right over so that you don't cut through both of the folder, the back and the front. As you can tell, now take your photographs out if you haven't done so already. Okay, push your cards up to the edge. Now here, I tend to just pull these up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now you need to slide the flaps in. Now it's a bit tricky. So get yourself into situ and get them nicely butted up. Once again, see you've got that piece poking out. Actually, just gives you that little bit of sticking room. So when you're sort of happy with how your flap is going to work, you can then where you've pulled that tape, you can then sort of stick that down, and as you can see, one of my folded bits has come undone. So I'm just going to fold that and get that in. Okay, stick that down. Then you can turn it over And what I tend to do is, you can actually see where that fold is. So then you can get hold of the backing sheet, and mine has decided to not come off as well as it should. It's a bit fiddly, but just persevere. And take that out. Get your flap nice. And then stick it down. And then repeat with the other flaps. Getting them sitting nice and flat. As I said, it is fiddly, but it is doable. And as you can see, I'm having all sorts of problems here because I'm doing a video. Of course. This is just Murphy's Law at work. Sure that that card's in position, and it really isn't doing what I want it to do. Okay, there we go, and we get that stuck down. Then very gently you can then attach your photographs in place. Now, what I tend to do, once I have done that, and I have got my photographs in, I will get myself a small piece of tape. And I just, underneath that card, to hold it in place, I pop a little bit of tape inside, I'll bring that up, inside the hole on all three of these cards. Otherwise, what happens is your cards will eventually work their way out. So I'll secure them into place and then they just don't move. There you go, stick it on the back of the card, and then you can just take the little bit of tape off and attach. And then that supports your card. So you do exactly the same here. Just take the bit of tape that you put in and attach your card. There we go. That way your card is supported inside and it just won't move. Hence, we have now got an absolute gorgeous layout with an extra fold when it goes into your album. So when you look at your album, this is what you will see. With the added surprise of those extra photographs. It's just an easy way of getting those extras into your layout. So I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial, and I'll give you a full little video after of this whole thing so you can see it fully as well. So here's a look at the finished layout for those that have followed me through this tutorial, including the beautiful folding mechanism flat page. I do hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and please join me for the next one, and don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, because that way you'll get notifications when I have new videos up. So till next time, keep crafting. Bye.